Assalamu alaikum, Muslim brothers and sisters. Today in our episode of Zillionaires and Good Deeds, as usual, we are just coming from the mosque, the Jummah prayer, and the Imam actually talked about corruption in the world. He made mention of the three types of corruption we have that was mentioned in the Qur'an: the corruption of the heart, or the corruption of the individual. He also made mention of the corruption of the family and the corruption that we actually notice in the society. Now, he really explained the first, which was the corruption of the individual, very well. He eloquently said that yes, as a Muslim or as a Muslimah, we tend to corrupt ourselves by doing all what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't want us to do. In other words, the wrongdoings, what He has forbidden us to do. He talked about the example of riba. He said the interest-based transactions that we actually indulge in are some of the things we do that actually harm our iman, that, you understand, wages war against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you as a Muslim would not want to wage war against your creator, because then who can you run to? He also made mention of other things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade us to do, that one way or the other we are being caught off guard doing them, either knowingly or unknowingly. And he mentioned the fact that anything we do that is contrary to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to do or wants us to do is actually committing corruption against ourselves. So we have like the 7 major sins in Islam. If we do it, we are corrupting ourselves. If we do part of the 70 other sins that are considered major too, we are affecting ourselves. And if we do even the minor sins, you understand? And there's always room to actually repent. There's room to do better. There's always room to, you understand, improve on ourselves. Now, he talked about the second type of corruption, which is the corruption of the family. Family corruption, the one that involves not only your personal self, but the one that involves you and your family ties, or you and your blood relations. And he talked about actually, you understand, the kinship. How Islam said we should, you understand, how Islam said we should do to our kinsmen. We should not try, that's the word in Yoruba. We should not sever the blood ties. We shouldn't cut off from our family members. Now, he said people that do that, yes, we shouldn't cut ties with them. Now, people that do that are people that are corrupt in the family sector. He also mentioned the fact that taking care of your children.
They did tell them that the people that cut ties with their family, Allah will cut ties with them.
Allah will cut ties. So that's a punishment. So in order not to allow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cut ties, you understand, lacking from the rahmah and barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should try as much as possible to always have that good ties with them. He also mentioned the fact that for those who have started giving birth, for those who have gotten married and things like that, you should try as much as possible to, you understand, do the good things in terms of maybe making your siblings, making your
children,
your spouse, making them know of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
making them do the right thing, not ignoring them when they are doing things that are wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like, they are doing what is wrong. They are still children. Nobody's children.
They are still children.
You have to let them know right from when they are young, because
exactly. So don't just turn a blind eye, because if you are turning a blind eye one way or the other, you are accepting and you are approving of their wrongdoings.
Yes, you are approving it.
So the last part of corruption, or the last type rather of corruption that was mentioned, was the corruption to the society. The one that actually involves people that you do not know one-on-one, people that you don't have blood relations with, and people that, you understand, you actually relate to it on social media. For instance, we made very good mentions of that things we post on social media, you understand, many times, if they are not really helping anybody, if they are actually corrupting other people, then you yourself, you don't even know where the corruption may lead to, because it may affect you, affect other people around, and at the end of the day, it's going to be a big sin that if it is a sin, a corruption you did to yourself, you can actually beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it. But if it's a corruption that you have done to someone else, or you have instigated someone else to do to other people, then that's a big issue, because the impact will be severe, and have to beg for forgiveness for that thing will not only affect you but also affect other people. So if you are part of the people, and I know many of us, if not I am also part, one way or the other, we are actually corrupting either ourselves, either our family members, or our society. So we should try as much as possible to abstain from these kinds of corruptions. Let's do the good deeds. If you want to know how exactly you're corrupting yourself, or corrupting the family, or corrupting the society, just look at the wrongdoings you are doing. It's very simple. Look at the wrongdoings that you are engaged in, and see how you can how you can improve on them. You understand, in terms of stopping the bad deeds and actually replacing them with good deeds. So
okay, let me add something. Yeah. Now, when they're talking of like corruption of the heart, and you should stop doing what is wrong, most of us in this life, we have been doing what is wrong, and we are just thinking of like actually practicing what is right. Practicing what is right now, we know it's not easy, but the first thing you have to do is to be close to Allah, which is your creator. Once you are close to Allah, the corruption of the heart, the corruption will not take over your heart and your body. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So when you are close to Allah, first you'll be contented with everything you have. You wish good for others, not for just yourself. And what did I want to say? Like, you learn to say good words. Like, you not just be saying bad or negative words. Even if you don't have money to give, like, just give your good words. Sometimes it goes a long way.
Yes, that reminds me about when the Imam was actually talking about people that do sadaqah, you understand, that give charity. One of the things he made mention of people doing bad for others is you doing sadaqah but having to actually show off what you are doing. Okay, the fact that you give someone one money does not mean another person to know about it. Do you understand? So try to do good without, he said it's better for you to say good things than for you to even give a charity, just like our Rasulullah said, give a charity and now be boastful of that charity or start talking about that charity. You understand? That's the basic thing in Yoruba. Do you understand? And that reminds me on what Sis Rashida said now, that if you do good, you understand, do good to yourself and also endeavor to tell other people. Let other people also do good. You understand? Do good to other people. You know, I remember when I was coming to Canada and I was opportunity to come through permanent residence, which was through the provincial nominee programs. When I first landed, in my quest to actually assist other people, I was looking at other routes people can come through, like study permits, work permits, visit visa, and things like that. But I realized that as I was trying to do good, the good was not as much as that which I did. And that was why I got to realize that if you come into Canada permanently, you understand, that is one of the best ways you can avoid, you understand, sleeping on in shelters, for instance, that we saw many of our Nigerian brothers and sisters actually suffering from in Mississauga, Ontario, Brampton right now. And you understand, you coming through visiting and getting to be stopped in the airports because yes, they feel that you have to go back to your country or seek asylum and things like that. So one of the things we have tried to do in our own organization, in our own company now, is that we try to focus on the best pathway people can actually come to Canada, which we did as well, and we feel is the best route you can actually go through. So if you want to, even though this is a kind of religious post, I just wanted to say that so that you understand the kind of practicality about what the sermon of today was all about. So if you want to learn more about that, you understand, you can go on our channel AOS Abroad, you understand, or any of our social media platforms. But what I will just use to end this is that do good and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.